So, I've had many a comment and many requests asking me, how do I get my footage looking buttery, crispy and cinematic? So, we're going to do this today. 3 simple ways you can make your footage look super cinematic. But before we do that, it's early Saturday morning. I'm going to go for a run. It's park run in my local town and it's going to be epic. Right, well that didn't go quite to plan. I didn't make it all the way around. Laura did the whole thing and it was awesome, but my knee gave out halfway through. I think that's going to be a trip to the doctor for me, which is not what I want, but there we go. Right, we need to get this ball rolling. We need to get this vlog started. So we're going to go home, we're going to freshen up, and then we're going to get right into it. So, let's talk frame rates. While I'm talking to you and I'm doing this, all my talking head shots, I'm recording at 24 frames per second. Now, that is the best frame rate that the eye conforms at, and it also means that you get nice natural motion blur that you see in real life. When I shoot my B-roll, I shoot most of it at 60 frames per second. Now this means that in post I can slow it down to 40% of its speed, which gives that nice, buttery, crispy, beautiful, cinematic B-roll that most people are after. Now, with that being said, I don't always use 60 frames per second. For instance, when I'm flying my drone and I'm doing anything with the drone shoots at 24 frames per second. Now that is because of the vantage point, it being in the sky. It looks cinematic all on its own. So it depends on what you're shooting, what sort of angles and stuff you've got going on, and how you want it to look. But yeah, you don't always need 60 frames per second, it's just something that I use for most of my handheld B-roll. So the rest of the day is going to go as so. Laura has a driving lesson, but I have to deliver one of my wedding packages for a wedding that I filmed in December last year. So I'm going to go and see the bride, and after they've come back from their honeymoon, that should be awesome. Let's go and do that. Right, that's the wedding video dropped off. Now, point number 2. So wait, let me just move this out of the way. Much better. Point number 2, letterboxing. So when I say letterboxing, I mean bringing the screen in from the bottom and the top, bringing them up slightly. Now, you can do this in several ways on your editing software. Sometimes there's a preset that you can click on. You can simply do that, click on it, and it'll bring the bars in and bring the pillars in for you, nice and easy. Or what I tend to do, I transition from having it full frame when I'm talking like this to transitioning into my cinematic footage by slowly graduating, bringing the bars in. So I normally set my bars 130 points on each top and bottom, and then what I do is I set an in point with a marker, set an out point on the footage that I'm bleeding into, and I bleed in to get that footage looking great, brings the bars in, Bob's your uncle, done. Looks epic. Right, on that note, you can see it happening now. Let's get back on the road. Let's go and grab some lunch, shall we? So, number 3, I'm going to have to be quick because I know I'm not supposed to be filming in here, but I really wanted to use this location because it's really cool. So here we go. Number 3, music. Now this is a cheap little plug for Epidemic Sound, which is where I get all my music from. It's all royalty free and I pay £10 a month per channel that I have. Now I have this, but also my drone channel, and I pay £10 for each of those. At the moment. You pay a little bit more if you have more subscribers, but at this point I have a low amount of subscribers compared to what you need to be charged more money, and I have an extensive library of music that I can use. Now, you've got to make sure of one of two things. The first thing is you pick music that fits the type of video you're making. So if you're making something really fast paced and you have a slow burner of a music to edit to, it doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that you edit to the music something that suits the footage you're using. And the second point, you've already just touched on that, is purely, oh sorry, let me get comfy, that's better, sorry, the knee's still poorly from earlier's run. And this is more important than the music you choose. You want to make sure that you edit to your music. So you should see waveforms in your editing software that helps you pick and dictate where you should and shouldn't do cuts, do transitions, and do anything to change from scene to scene. It's really important that you use that music to really accentuate the edit. So if there's a big beat in your tunes, then you make sure that you edit to that beat. It will make your edit so much crisp, so much better, and it will be epic. Right, let's put all those three things together and look at this. We're back. Those are three simple ways you can make your footage look more cinematic. I'm going to give you a little bonus feature, let's call it 3.5, and that is motion. You want to make sure that you're getting lots of motion in your footage. Now you can do that one of two ways. You can either simply move the camera yourself, as you can see from the clip earlier of me by the mirror, or you can get it static like it is now, and you can get moving things in it, like vehicles, people, anything that moves, such as that sheet that was blowing in the wind. That looked really cinematic, really cool, nice and slowed down. I had the camera locked off and it was just rolling and it looked great. There you have it. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and always remember to film, edit, create. Goodbye.
Wasted all my money, all on you, honey. Baby, will you look my way? Been ditching all my bodies, failing all the studies. Baby, I am out to play. Give me your attention and your sweet